Oh, I think the microphone was on. Hello, everybody. It's Steve Lookner. Let's try to do this again. I guess this is working. Can you hear me? We had a little technical problem. Let's hope it doesn't happen again. What can I say? It was not anticipated. I hope we've dealt with that. All right. So I didn't really have time. I know there was another missile alert, but I couldn't really look at it because I was dealing with this stuff. All right. So let's see here. People are saying they can see me and hear me. Hopefully. All right. Let me just. So this is part two. This is part two. All right, I have a Beirut camera. I have one of those. All right, there's that. There's that. Hang on. Now, you're hearing the Beirut audio, and let me check. All right, let me check what's going on with the last missile alert. The last missile alert, hold on, was, did anything happen? Why is MDA not posting? MDA says, that's old. I'm looking to see if there's any reports of injuries or impacts from the last alerts, and I'm not seeing it. I don't see anything yet that says that from the last alert there were. That ended I think a minute ago. Home Front Command said a minute ago you can leave your shelter. But by the way, the Revolutionary Guard says they've begun the 19th retaliation wave, basically. I'll try to read you that. No known casualties. I just saw this from the MDA via N12 News. No known casualties. So there have been several, over the last few hours, there have been several, maybe the last couple hours, several missile alerts. I haven't heard of any casualties from them. And no known casualties and no missile hits from what I've heard. Okay, so let's just, what am I going to show here? I'd like to get you the AFP. Oh, I do have two Beirut feeds. Okay. Is this going to work? We have both Beirut cams up. Again, I'm sorry. We just had a technical issue and everything stopped. So I had to deal with that. And, oh, is there no microphone? Hold on, the microphone. Something's wrong with the microphone. Something's wrong with the microphone, right? You guys aren't really hearing me, or are you? No, the microphone seems okay. The microphone level seems okay. I'm getting a good level on it. All right. We can hear. People say it's fine. Okay. Okay, now, I do want to thank a couple people. I don't know if the people are still here. I owe some thanks from the previous broadcast. I don't know what those booms are on the. We're here. I don't know if that's our what we're hearing on on these on the feeds from Beirut. Almost sounds like artillery or something. I wonder if the booms could be Israeli boats firing, because it's near the coast. Yeah, Navy. One of our Hasselhoff says Navy. I wonder if we're hearing firing from the Israeli Navy off the coast. All right, bear with me for a second. I got to get caught up because I just was dealing with all of that. Excuse me. No one is... I'm not aware of anything huge that happened while we were off. I'm just looking though. Shin, about 10 minutes ago, who I follow, said blasts in eastern Tehran reported and explosions and anti-aircraft activity in central Tehran. AP is leaving their cameras on now? Well, they're not supposed to be. Well, did they point it at the ground? Because what they do is they leave them on, but they point them at the ground. That's what they do. They've always left them on. They just pointed them at the ground. All right, let me say a couple thank yous here. Thank you to I don't know if these people are here anymore, but something's wrong. What am I not seeing? Oh, I see what's going on. No, we're all good. We're all good. Thank you so much to let me learn. Adam Hughes, this is from the last stream. I don't even know if they're still here. I'm sorry. Sobek, Adam Hughes, Let Me Learn, D. Smitty First, Officer Larry, Spaghettification, Tiberius Rex, John T. Wohe, Matthew Cox, Shahzad Saeed, very kind of you, Shahzad Saeed, Aldo Nava, Daniel Daly, Acadius, Max Debater, Sobek, Bradley Moore, Stuffed Squash, Inked Cyclops, and Winston Churchill and Little Green Men. That was from last time, so I apologize. And also David C. Sobek, Shadow Fox, Ryan. Thanks again, David C. Frosted Flames, Tony C. Esther N. Carides and other relaxing gad, DNA content, Palm Tree, Prom King Psycho, R.S. Azizi, Hey, Jesus is King Luke, Just Mike, Barack Musbas, Sobek, and 7350652. Sorry for the delay. All right, let's get back into this. Also, I also need to thank I want to thank our moderators. Thanks Needle Nose and Not So Silent Pooper and 1-3 on Twitch. Hey, our moderators, thanks so much for coming back. Big Ball of Yarn, Matthew Kohai 3, Surly Dev, thank you. I appreciate it. And Linda Belk, Larry, Misha on X. Our Ruth is moderating on YouTube. Thank you, Ruth, and BZ, thank you. And our Facebook moderators, I want to thank too. Tony C. Oops. Esther N. Margaret Riley, Kay Lowry Body, Ava Knight. Thanks, Kristen McConnell Gates, for subscribing. Oh, I gotta write these people thank yous or something. Maybe call to prayer or something? Thanks to the Facebook stars, Hamzma Malik, Laverne Thompson, Rachel Louise Gibson, Kristen McConnell Gates, MG Mance, and Jack Kelsall. I think we're hearing call to prayer. No, the beeping is not in my room. The beeping is on one of the cameras. Maybe the cameraman fell asleep or something. The beeping is on camera. The beeping is not in my room. Yeah, there was a technical issue which caused the stream to stop. So I had to deal with that and then come back. So I'm sorry about that. I think the beeping might have stopped. I'm checking for updates here. Hey, I just saw something. What is this? Hang on, I'm seeing Al Jazeera, or no, Al Mayadeen. I got to turn this down a little bit. Al Mayadeen says that Israeli media says a serious incident on the northern border. Let me check that out. Being investigated? What happened on the northern border? Let's see. I haven't seen that report. When did they post that? Al Mayadeen posted about that. Says like 25 minutes ago. Israeli media, tanks hit on northern... Oh, okay. Report of a missile hitting a tank on the northern border. That's what Al Mayadeen says. I haven't heard that myself. Let me see. Let me check some of my Israel news feeds. It's weird. I'm not really seeing it there. I don't know where they're getting that from. Any other feeds here? I have yet to see it on any of the accounts I follow, or any of the journalists I follow, that there was a tank hit. Well, I'll let you know what I hear, but I just haven't heard anything on that. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard issued a message saying Wave 19 of Operation Sadiq Promise 4. So Wave 19 of their retaliation began as a combined missile and drone operation against the positions of the American-Israeli enemy in the heart of the occupied territories and the bases of the American terrorists in the region, with huge explosions, with the blessed code O Hassan ibn Ali. So periodically, Iran announces it's carrying out a new phase of its retaliation. Oh, the two crew members who were hit, Chris Tripp said that was earlier. I think we talked about that earlier, Chris, on the air. Or at least I heard about two people being wounded earlier. I think. Hang on. But this was a new report. Maybe Al Mayadeen was just confused. Yes, so Manny Fabian says the IDF said 2 IDF soldiers were... Yeah, I talked about this earlier. This was hours ago. This was like 12 hours ago. 2 IDF soldiers were reported moderately wounded in an anti-tank missile attack. In a Hezbollah anti-tank missile attack. Yeah, maybe Al Mayadeen was just thinking that was new when it was old. I don't know. Thanks, Chris Tripp, for mentioning that. The Wall Street Journal says that Iran's underground bunkers that it constructed to shield its vast missile arsenal from destruction are becoming a big vulnerability. The Wall Street Journal says that U.S. and Israeli planes and drones are circling over these bunkers and striking the missile launchers when they emerge. And they also say that that they're being bombed, which traps the missiles underground. That's at least what the Wall Street Journal is saying. Yeah, I mean, the Wall Street Journal says that the U.S. and Israel, they're basically just keeping surveillance aircraft over Iran and over known missile bases. And they're attacking when stuff gets brought out, which makes sense. One of our viewers said, Iran is trying to carry a new phase with probably 2 or 3 missiles a day, says Tenek Kimba. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 a day, but it has not been that many the last few days. They could be, maybe they're just trying to conserve their missiles. I don't know. I can't say. Sylvia says, I hear Iran has been weakened, but I don't trust it at all. Thanks, by the way, to Daniel Daly. Thanks, Daniel. And Pluto Spirit. The I mentioned the Tim Sheehy thing before. I'll have to look that up again, Pluto Spirit. We talked a little bit about it earlier, but I'll look it up in a little bit. Thanks, Tim Sheehy. I mean, Pluto Spirit. Not Tim Sheehy, Pluto Spirit. Thank you. Rondi Keeman, thank you. Gary Fry, thank you. Thank you, Chrisimos. I saw your message, Chrisimos. Thank you. Mike Lilly, thank you. Yes, I am back. Let's see here. Thank you to Mike M. Kiley. Sorry, I don't know what that means, Mike Kiley. I have to look it up. Thank you. Mr. Negative, Miss Curvy, Adrian Metcalf, thank you. D Money HC, Sobek, Tyler Guy, Pablo Pena. All right. And Kath Thorder, thank you. Our viewers are mentioning the rooster. Qatar announced that the authorities in Qatar are evacuating residents living in the vicinity of the U.S. Embassy as a temporary precautionary measure. Oh, I was going to mention this. I didn't even have time to mention this in the last stream when we had that issue. Another ship apparently was attacked off the coast of Iran. Look, this is from 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago, check it out, from UKMTO. UKMTO has received a report of an incident 30 miles south of Mubarak al-Kabir, Kuwait. The master of a tanker at anchor, gotta turn that down a little bit. The master of a tanker at anchor reports witnessing and hearing a large explosion on the port side, then seeing a small craft leave the vicinity. There is oil in the water coming from a cargo tank, which could have some environmental impact. The vessel has taken on water. There are no fires reported, and the crew are safe and well. Authorities are investigating. I don't know which boat that is yet. That was reported a couple hours ago. Is that technically in the Persian Gulf? I'll pull up a map. Hold on. Let me pull up a map. Sorry. Yeah, I think it's technically in the Persian Gulf. It's off the coast of Kuwait. Oh, hold on. Here's our map here. But you see Iran is here. Iran is here, and it took place right in here. So off the coast of Iran too. So there have been a number of ships in the waters off Iran the last few days that have been attacked. But this is a new one. Again, they say that it was in the northern Persian Gulf, and they say it's a tanker ship at anchor. It was a tanker ship at anchor. There was a large explosion on the port side, and the master saw a small craft leave the vicinity, and now there's oil in the water. Magna says Iran will sink ships in the strait to disrupt oil shipments. Now this isn't in the Strait of Hormuz, but it's in the Persian Gulf. I haven't seen the numbers on the Strait of Hormuz today, but it's basically, there's very little moving through there. 2 days ago, there was nothing that went from west to east. But I don't have, I'm interested in getting details on that to hear a little more. I don't know what ship it is. I'll see if I can find out what ship it is. The other thing, that's not Iran using a warship. That's a small craft, they said. Heard some kind of boom there. You know, somebody, I forgot to do it. Somebody yesterday said, what is ISW saying about all this lately? Institute for the Study of War. And I said I was going to check, and I forgot to. There is a March 4th update from the Institute for the Study of War. I'll post a link to this in the chat. Maybe we'll talk about some highlights. Hold on, you'll see it in a second. Understandingwar.org. Let's hear what they have to say about the state of things. They say, still so loud. It's a little better. The United States and Israel have continued to attack Iranian internal security institutions. The combined force also continued to target police stations, including an Iranian cyber police station. Hold on, I gotta turn this down more. Turning it down more. I'm turning it down more. Sorry. Oh, you know what happened? I'm sorry. Look, I just got confused. Obviously, the top feed is Jerusalem. The top feed is not Beirut, it's Jerusalem. So when we were just coming on the air and getting back from I thought I put the right stream up there. But obviously, that's not Beirut on the top, it's Jerusalem. The bottom is Beirut. But I was trying to get the second. Oh, the problem is they're mislabeled. They're actually that's what happened. AFP mislabeled their streams. So that's the problem. So I just grabbed whatever one said Beirut. So what I need to do, that's what happened, is they mislabeled their streams. They have each one labeled as the other. So let me get the other Beirut stream and put that up there. I have the Beirut streams up because that's really the only one you're probably going to see things happening on. The Israel streams, when there's a missile alert, they take down the streams. Or they point them away or whatever. So let me fix this. Let me fix this. Then we'll talk about the ISW report. I fixed it. Watch. Here we go. There it is. Now we have 2 Beirut feeds. Okay, the Institute for the Study of War, in their new update today, they say the U.S. and Israel have continued to attack Iranian internal security institutions. Interesting. The combined force also continued to target police stations, including an Iranian cyber police station. The U.S.-Israeli combined force continued to degrade Iran's ballistic missile and drone infrastructure in Iran. The CENTCOM commander said the combined force has severely degraded Iran's air defenses and destroyed hundreds of Iran's ballistic missiles, drones, and launchers. The combined force continued to target Iranian defense industrial sites, such as 2 buildings in the Kosher missile production complex in Hyderabad. The combined force continues to attack Iranian naval capabilities. The U.S. has struck or sunk more than 20 ships, says CENTCOM. The number of missiles that Iran is firing has decreased greatly from the first day. Hezbollah has conducted several attacks targeting IDF positions and forces in northern Israel and southern Lebanon. Okay. It's interesting about the internal security institutions. The IDF, the U.S. and Israel have continued to attack Iranian internal security institutions, such as Basij bases, police stations. Maybe that's designed to eventually try to help people rebel against the government. If you want to, so I'll post the link to this. You can go to the Institute for the Study of War and you can find, they actually have a graphic, which is U.S. and Israeli strikes targeting internal security in Tehran. I can't even fit the whole thing on here. Let me just show you this. But you can go and you can look at this. That's in their update here. Again, it's all these different internal security sites that have been targeted. So I'll post a link to the report. And they also have a map of U.S. and Israeli strikes in Iran in the past day and where they are. Here they have, what is this? This is at a drone base. Damage before and after. I'm going to post a link to this report so you can check it out. One of our viewers said, you need a magnifying glass to read it all. I just posted the link to the Institute for the Study of War update, understandingwar.org. I'm hoping they maybe do a little more big picture stuff soon. But that's an interesting observation because, you know, it's not like we have a lot of live streams going on from Iran showing us what's being hit. But they point out that a lot of these internal security related sites have been hit. Sorry, I just had to send off a couple things related to the channel and all this. Zippy says seems pretty quiet tonight. That's what Zippy said. I mean, look, obviously we're not in Iran, so I'm sure there's a bunch of airstrikes in Iran, but we cannot witness those in real time. But I will say, you know, in the last day or so, there haven't really been reports of, I haven't heard many reports of Iranian drones hitting other countries, you know. At least in the last day. Yes, as one of our viewers said, the Iran internet is out. It's been out for days. The last explosion in Beirut, do I have a replay? I'm not sure when exactly was it. If you tell me when it was, I could maybe do it, give it to you. There was an explosion in the small camp? Yeah, I wouldn't mind showing you that, because we never got to show it to you, but I don't remember when it happened. About 3 hours ago? 3 hours ago? Oh, hold on. Give me a moment, I'll check. One of the viewers said it happened like 3 hours ago? Are you sure? That seems like a long time ago. Maybe you're right. Oh, I found it. I found it. Yeah, this was the one that we didn't oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's all falling apart. This is the one that we didn't get to see really because we were having a technical difficulty. So let me show you this one. I'll put on the screen earlier. Hold on. Where is it? I gotta find it here. I thought I'd queued it up. I thought I had queued it up. I guess I didn't do a good job of queuing it up. Oh no, it's coming. It's coming like right now, I think. Oh, I see what's here. Oh, here it is. Here it is. This right, watch this right now. This was earlier. This was earlier. It's coming right now. Oh, they didn't catch it when it actually... I guess they missed it when it actually hit. That was right around when we had the issue. That was hours ago. That's not the one? Was there one after that? Oh, maybe there was one after that. I don't know. I'd have to go look. I don't know if there was one after that. I can go look. I don't know. Scrolling through. Oh, I see another one. You're right. There was one after that. There was one after that. You're right. It was like 2 hours ago. I got it right now. Here's the one after that. Coming up right now. Hold on. Oh, you can actually see the explosion on this one. Watch this right now. See, it was off to the side on the right. There it is right there on the right. Wow. Yeah, that was pretty big. They didn't quite catch it. If I have that on the other one. No, I don't think I have it on the other one. Then I think they pan over to it. You can see it on the right there. Yeah, I'll replay that one, but I think that was a building that had been ordered evacuated. No, I have two cameras, but the other camera didn't get this one. Here, I'll play that again. That was about 2 hours ago. One of the viewers says never hear ambulance or fire engines. I don't know if that's because they don't have them go out right away, or if it's because maybe you can't hear them from this distance. This might be too far away. I don't know. To hear them down on the street, I don't know. That might have been the last attack in Beirut there. I gotta say a couple thank yous here to people. Hold on. Hold on. One moment here. Alright, so that was before. Now it's live. I just forwarded to live. It's live on both. Let me thank a couple people here. Hey, thanks so much to Arash Tavakol, Arash Tavakol, who's from Iran. I have family and parents living in Iran. We all support the things happening, Arash says. And most of the Iranians, at least 80%, have chosen Reza Pahlavi as the transitionary leader. Thank you. Arash, that's nice of you. You know, what was it, a couple days ago? I feel like Trump is a bit wishy-washy on Reza Pahlavi. Didn't we see him talk about Reza Pahlavi a couple days ago? Does anyone else remember this? I know we did. I'm trying to remember when it was. What happened to the camera? What happened? Something wrong with the camera? Oh, the camera's fine now. I was like, what happened with the camera? Uh-oh, camera issue. No, it's fine. I was trying to think, when was it? I feel like he said there were better options, said the Gali. I think it was like 2 days ago. Wesley said he said they were not really looking at him. I can't remember what event it was. We were watching it here. Oh, I think maybe it was when he was with the Chancellor Merz of Germany. I think that's what it might have been. Was it yesterday? Maybe it was yesterday. And I think we played the interview. By the way, I bet you're going to say no. I'll say it anyway. If you want, because we didn't cover it live, I can play some. Thanks, Anthony. I appreciate it. What happened? Something happened again? Was there a problem with the broadcast? Yeah, hit refresh. Hit refresh if there's a problem. Please hit, because I'm watching the broadcast fine. Yeah, I mean, guys, once again, if you're watching, especially on YouTube, sometimes there's issues and you just got to hit refresh. So if you're having a problem, just refresh the stream. I'm away for a few more days, and then I will be back in my home studio. A few more days. Oh yeah, so a little something happened. Yeah, again, we had a problem earlier, so hopefully everything's all right. Sorry about that. Thank you, Biggie Queso. Uh-oh, the camera's moving. Why is the camera moving? What's the camera doing? Anything? Has there been any response from Russia or China in the conflict? With no more drones to Russia or oil to China, it's weird we haven't seen a response. So, Biggie, we talked about China a bunch last stream, and I read an article. I'm not going to do it all again, but I read an article last stream, some of an article from The Economist, which just talked about different reasons why China might not be upset at all this. For example, they might not mind if the U.S. got tied down in a military conflict in the Middle East. It also mentioned that China had a bunch of other oil suppliers. So, again, so basically what the article went through is it said, China is just, it's making kind of a cold calculation about what benefits and costs there are. So, now regarding Russia, I don't know enough about it, but again, it's going to be costs and benefits. So, for China or Russia to somehow intervene, it's got to be worth their while. But it is interesting, But they didn't really help Iran last year when it was getting attacked. An interesting thing about Russia, I was reading somewhere where it said that if the price of oil goes up, that could really benefit Russia's economy. Hey, it's Chase says China is playing the long game. The article, if you want to read it, is called China's Ice-Cold Calculus Over Iran. It's in The Economist. Oh, another thing the article talked about is China actually has a bunch of investments in expat populations in Saudi Arabia and the UAE. And also China wants stability, likes the idea of stability. So it says, if American actions, the Economist said, if American actions somehow yield an Iranian government that really has given up nuclear weapons, so much the better. What China cares about most, the Economist says, is its interest in the Middle East, from stable energy prices to a safe environment for investors. China has vast economic interests in the Middle East. The Economist also says China would have been much more worried by a popular uprising in Iran than these other countries coming in and bombing Iran and killing their leader. The Economist says the spectacle of a popular movement toppling an autocratic regime is precisely the kind of thing that makes officials in Beijing anxious. DW has an article, why is Russia not coming to Tehran's aid? One expert they talked to says Russia and China have bigger problems to worry about. Also, they talk about how a prolonged war could benefit Moscow. For example, higher oil price. For example, U.S. putting more into the Middle East and less into supporting Ukraine. That kind of thing. Anyways, I'm not an expert on these questions, but it's all, I assume if Iran and China calculated that it was in their best interests to give more support to Iran, they would. Thank you, Patrick Afif, for the memberships. Thank you, Patrick. Very nice of you. Thank you, Late Nightly, who says, after explosions, you see tracer rounds fired from different locations. Iranians are using the tracers plus the explosions to triangulate targets. Do you mean the Lebanese? I'm not sure if you're talking about this video, Late Nightly, because this is Lebanon, but I'm not sure. Thanks, DNA Content. Thanks, Biggie Queso. Thanks, Cashology 101. Who thinks Trump is okay with Pahlavi but doesn't want to say that because I think he would be happy with even a lesser change. Thanks, P.A. Jeeper. Thanks, Anthony 41986. Thank you, Mitchell Pilot. Who says the interview I was thinking of was yesterday. Thanks, John Smith. Yeah, John, I've seen different videos supposedly from Iran. I'm not allowed to, I can't verify them, most of them, but I'm not allowed to, I don't have the rights to show them. But it's not that there's nothing coming out of Iran. It's just hard to get a really good picture of what's going on. I mean, I believe, didn't the U.S., haven't there been thousands of U.S. and Israeli strike, I believe, at this point? But yes, I am aware that there are some videos floating around out there. But I cannot show them. Thank you, John Smith. Thank you, A.O. Thank you, Norbaird. Mark Lamberton. Josh Barnes says, are the Kurds a threat? That I don't know. I don't know. We don't know if there's going to be a Kurdish ground operation in western Iran. There were conflicting reports on that today. Some reports said there already is a Kurd ground operation. We'll have to see how that plays out. Thank you, Josh. Some of the articles said they have a few thousand fighters, but I don't know exactly how many. I'll try to look up and find some analysis from people who specialize in this stuff. Jackie UK, thank you. Marion, thank you. Ark Wolf, thank you. Jesse James, thank you. Fex Plox, thank you. NS Jonathan 8. FSD in Arizona. Jackie UK. Jesse Fence, FSD in AZ. W.H. Lund. Thank you, W.H. Aaron Makita. Aaron Makita. Jesse James, thank you. And Aaron Makita. And Daniel Daly. Oh, I think the X stream stopped like an hour ago. Sorry about that. When we had a little bit of a hiccup like an hour ago, I think the X stream stopped. I don't know that I want to start it again, though, for this time. I think we might leave it. I don't know how light we'll go tonight, but I think I'm just going to leave it. Hopefully people from X can find the other versions. I think people might be getting confused with the clock. Remember, the clock says Iran time, not Beirut time. Beirut is 90 minutes behind Iran. So in Beirut in Israel, it is 5:20, not 6:50, which I know is a bit confusing. Thank you to Beach Girl. That's really nice of you, Beach Girl. Thank you. Also, Whiskey Guns Trucks. Thank you. Whiskey Guns Trucks. Appreciate that. Oh, Joe Seals. Hey, Joe is watching with Jake, Mom, Bridge, and the boys. Thanks to all the Seals for watching. Thank you, Joe. That's really nice of you. Ben and Eli are watching. Danny has receipts, says Al Jazeera Arabic has Iran live stream. Thanks, Danny. Yeah, I mean, I can't steal their feed. Al Jazeera has some kind of agreement where they can have cameras in Iran. So I can't steal their feed, but you can try checking them out. Thanks also so much Lisa Messer for the memberships and Beach Girl for the membership. Also, I thanked Late Nightly before. Thank you. It is getting light there on the cameras. Hugo thinks Trump has boxed himself in. This war will continue way past U.S. elections. By the way, we did a poll earlier, and more than half of you said you thought the war was going to continue for longer than 4 weeks. There was an article in Radio Free, was it Radio Free Europe today? Let's see, hold on a second. About U.S. considers arming Iranian Kurdish opposition groups. This is from Radio Free Europe and Radio Liberty. The aim, the U.S. aim, experts say, would be to stretch Tehran's military resources, weaken the state's grip on power, and foment an uprising inside Iran, a multi-ethnic country of some 90 million people. Michael Horowitz, who I follow, was interviewed for this story, and he said the main goal is to make sure the Islamic Republic starts losing control of some areas of the country. The assessment may be that by doing so, other minorities, as well as the broader opposition, may be inspired. Some elements within the regime who may be tempted to defect or flee may also see this as a sign that they should do so now before the situation spins fully out of control. Kurds make up around 10% of Iran's population and primarily live in the country's west along the border with Iraq. Iran has long been accused of suppressing and discriminating against the country's ethnic minorities, including Kurds. I'm going to post a link to this article in the chat, by the way. And hang on a moment here. This is this article by Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty about the possibility of U.S. considering arming Iranian Kurdish opposition groups. Another expert they talked to for this article, Sasha Bruchman, said possible ground incursions by Iranian Kurdish groups into western Iran could stretch Tehran's military resources. If the Kurdish factions were to stage a concerted series of attacks, the Revolutionary Guard would have to seek reinforcements. However, that would weaken their posture in core cities such as Tehran, Isfahan, or Karaj. It would thus create a dilemma for the regime where to send sparse reinforcements in times when coordination is also more difficult. It is this dilemma and thinning out of forces that is the operational goal. The risks of the U.S. possibly arming Iranian opposition Kurdish groups are considerable, experts say. Michael Horowitz said Washington could trigger a civil war and the fragmentation of the country, which could have lasting consequences. Also, if the Kurds engage in long-term war against Iran and the U.S. support disappears, this will prove very dangerous for them. Also, experts say it is unclear if the various Iranian Kurdish groups in Iraq, if the various Iranian Kurdish groups that are in Iraq can settle their deep differences and have the willingness and ability to fight against the Islamic Republic. Anyways, it's an interesting article. I'm going to post a link to this article by Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty in the chat if you want to check it out. But it's interesting talking about what the U.S. might see the benefit of as using the Kurds to inspire others around the country, to divert Iranian forces. And just as a little bit of a aid to see where Kurds live, I want to show you this real quick. This is from the Encyclopedia Britannica. They have a map of areas of majority Kurdish settlement. I'll post a link to their article too. And I'm putting the map on the screen from the Encyclopedia Britannica. And you can see the green is areas of majority Kurdish settlement. And you can see that, see this area here? Western Iran, northern Iraq, eastern Syria, eastern Turkey. But they don't have their own state. Hang on, I'll show. Let me just real quick here. I'm going to show you the article here. Anyways, if you want to read more about them and see the map and read more, you can check out Encyclopedia Britannica. I'm going to post a link to this article in the chat. Most Kurds live in contiguous areas of Iran, Iraq, and Turkey, a somewhat loosely defined geographic region generally referred to as Kurdistan. I posted a link to that article in the chat. Thanks to Britannica for letting me show you some of it. I got to turn off that sound. I don't know what that is. It's driving me crazy. We hear that once in a while. I'll put the audio on from the other shot. It's crazy. What's going on in there? Our viewer says they are renowned. Black Beret says they are renowned for fighting ISIS. Really brave folks, those Kurds. Britannica also says the Kurds are often described as a nation without a state. A nation is defined as a group of people sharing a common language, history, and culture, often inhabiting a particular territory. A state, however, is a political entity with formal government institutions, defined boundaries, and sovereignty. Thank you, Dissolute Mob, for watching, and Iona. Our viewer Levix says, I am a Kurd living in the U.S. Axios has some new reporting on the Kurd thing. Hold on a second here. Axios says Iranian Some Iranian Kurd militants are preparing for a possible ground offensive against Iran. Axios reports that the Iranian Kurdish militias are backed by the Mossad from Israel, Israeli intelligence, I believe, and the CIA spy agencies, the Mossad and CIA spy agencies. Excuse me. Also, Axios reports the goal is to try to take over a specific territory in the Kurdish region inside Iran in order to challenge the regime and inspire a broader uprising, a U.S. official said. They say the role of the CIA in the plan was first reported by CNN. Our viewer Ferdinand Gonzalez thinks anything less than full regime change would be a failure. We're watching Lebanon because I think that's going to be the only camera on which you might see some activity, because Israel has been conducting strikes on Beirut. Turn it up a little bit. No volume. The sun is coming up. It's getting light. I have a Tel Aviv feed. I do have a Tel Aviv feed, which I can put up for you there. Maybe. If it works. Look, it's Tel Aviv. It's Tel Aviv and Beirut. Cirques thinks the offensive is already happening. Hey, thanks, Kristen McConnell Gates. I appreciate that. Thanks for your stars before as well. It's very nice of you. It's about 5:38 Israel and Lebanon time. I actually have, you know what? I have a better Tel Aviv shot. It's not a bad Tel Aviv shot, though. We'll leave it up. camera is moving. With this whole situation, you never know when more is going to happen. There also could be things that happen that we just don't know about yet. Stuff just gets announced all of a sudden. The New York Times is also reporting about the Kurds now too. The New York Times says pro-American Kurdish forces are preparing possible Iran incursion. The CIA has given small weapons to Iranian Kurdish forces in Iraq in a covert program that began before the current war. So again, the Times says pro-American Iranian Kurdish forces in Iraq are preparing armed units that could enter Iran. And the CIA has previously given small arms to the Iranian Kurdish forces as part of a covert program to destabilize Iran, which began before the current war. That's what the New York Times claims. They point out that America does have a reputation of abandoning the Kurds. For example, they say that in 1991 Gulf War, the U.S. encouraged a Kurd uprising in Iraq, then stood by as the Iraqi army slaughtered Kurdish forces. The Times says a couple things. They say some people familiar with the planning. The Times says that some people they talk to familiar with the planning for this, for the Kurdish operation, say there's no way a Kurdish force could topple the Iranian government. They say they've only been provided with small arms by the CIA. And also that Iran's Persian majority will not welcome an armed Kurdish incursion. It is an important thing to keep in mind from everything I've seen, that it's not like they have this giant, heavily militarized force. But what I've seen is the argument would be like, I gotta switch the stream on the top. They could inspire others in the country. They could divert security forces in Iran, that kind of thing. We'll have to see what happens with. Will there be some kind of Kurdish operation? Is the broadcast hitting me? Oh no. What's happening here? What is happening? What's going on? Why is this? Are we back? There's weird internet stuff going on tonight. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, there's just weird stuff going on tonight. Hold on. Let me. Yeah, there's clearly some sort of. I don't know if it's like one of my providers, because we haven't had this. I mean, I've been here for weeks, and I remember maybe once having any kind of issue. There's just something going on tonight, just with one of my providers or the internet here or something. I'm not even the internet where I am, but I just mean there's just clearly something going on where I don't know what it is. So again, I apologize, but normally it doesn't happen. Again, I'm here for I'm away for a few more days, but. Again, I don't. I'm sorry that it's happening, but at least it didn't kill the stream. Things happen. Sorry about that. Oh, I was going to just check and fix the. Somehow the camera got switched. Oh, I see what happened here. Reuters switched their camera. That's what happened. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Here, I have the. Is that the one I wanted? Wait. Well, I'll leave Jerusalem up there. That's two of the same one. Excuse me. Thanks, by the way, to Billy Bob Joe. Thank you, Billy Bob Joe. I really appreciate that. Sarah News. Thanks, Sarah News. Also, Joe Dean 70. Joe Dean said many streamers are having YouTube issues. Is that true, Joe Dean? Our viewer Joe Dean says many streamers are having YouTube issues. Have people noticed it with others? Somebody, Drew says yes. Thanks also, Ramen in my tum-tum. Ramen in my tum-tum. Another viewer said nope. Our viewer KRV says, I've had to reload more than normal tonight, even on pre-recorded stuff. Little Garlaw says, I have noticed all day. Yeah, maybe there's just kind of like general stuff affecting one of these, maybe one of these providers that works with all these services is having an issue. I don't know. AP talks about some of the energy security risks for Asia. They say global energy trade is in turmoil as war around the Persian Gulf chokes off oil and natural gas shipments, causing prices to soar. Asia is the most exposed since it relies heavily on imported fuel. Much of it strips through the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow passageway that carries a fifth of global trade in crude oil and liquefied natural gas. Since the Iran war began, the price of Brent crude has jumped 15%. Happened here. China and India potentially face big risks. China is the world's biggest crude oil importer, and India comes in third. Sustained spikes in oil prices would ripple through their broader economies, straining transport, industry, and households. Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan are most exposed. What does it say? South Korea relies nearly entirely on energy imports. It gets around 70% of its crude oil from the Middle East. Taiwan imports nearly all of its liquefied natural gas. How long is this going to go on for? One of our viewers said, USA going dark soon? So now you know what's really weird? I didn't restart the stream on X, but the stream on X seems to have restarted itself. I didn't restart it. It restarted itself. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. There's another interesting part of the Axios article on the Kurds. If I can find it. I don't know if it's in there anymore. I can't find it anymore. Maybe they took it out. Hold on. Axios is reporting that Axios says the idea to support the Kurdish Iranian factions and use them for a ground offensive in Iran initially came from Prime Minister Netanyahu and Mossad in Israel. Israel officials, says Axios, promised the Kurdish Iranian factions not only military support, but political support for a Kurdish autonomous region in the future. In a future Iran if the regime collapsed. One U.S. official told Axios that the Kurds could end up as cannon fodder. Our viewer Levix says using Iranian Kurds to attack Iran will never happen. CNN has a report. I don't know what you guys think about this. I don't know what to think about this. CNN reports that Iranian bombers came within minutes of striking the largest military base housing U.S. troops in the Middle East before Qatari planes shot them down. On Monday morning, Iran's Revolutionary Guard dispatched 2 Soviet-era bombers toward Al Udeid Air Base. They were 2 minutes away from their targets. The Qataris issued a warning over radio. And then it says, a Qatari fighter engaged the Iranian jets in aerial combat. I don't know about this. Why would the U.S. not be paying any attention to this? And would Qatar have to send up a fighter to do it? I don't know. I'm suspicious. Sounds like maybe like somebody from Qatar leaked this story. I cannot imagine that planes got close to Al Udeid Air Base without the U.S. knowing. I don't know. Seems like a strange story to me. Oh, Dan Kane. I didn't see, so I didn't even watch the press conference before. General Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, acknowledged the incident on Wednesday in the briefing without specifying the Iranian bomber's target. He told the briefing Qatari fighters have for the first time shot down 2 Iranian bombers en route to their location. Again, I can't imagine that the U.S. would just leave some part of the Middle East alone and say, hey, Qatar, you take care of it. And then be like, yay, they shot him down. I don't know. It just sounds very strange to me. Sounds like maybe they're just trying to give an extra political shout out to Qatar to me. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it really happened that way. We're going to go a few more minutes here. You know, it's after 1 a.m. here. It's after 1 a.m. where I am. Tanner Bone says it could be possible an Al Udeid airbase radar system was destroyed yesterday by an Iranian missile. Excuse me. We have nice bird sounds. What do you think, guys? So I think we're getting close to that point. I think we're getting close to that point when I say I don't really have more updates to give you right now. But if something happens a little later, I can do another stream. But I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there. You know? You never know when stuff is going to happen. I don't know. Yeah, as I've said, you can't predict it. You can't predict it. A couple days ago, we did a whole other stream after doing the first stream, because stuff started happening. No, I think it might be getting close. By the way, thanks to Shin Subin, who says, I boarded a flight from Korea I bought a few months ago. If I bought it now, it'd be a lot more money. Because jet fuel, I believe, has gone up in price. I think. I read something about that earlier. Thanks, Hogan Miller, by the way. Thanks, Hogan Miller. Thanks, Enigmatic. Thanks, Scotty W8R. Scotty, I haven't heard such a report. I have not heard such a report, Scotty, about China refusing to send Iran hypersonic anti-ship munitions, as had been promised. I've heard nothing about it. I'll see if I find anything about it, I'll let you know. We'll talk about it. Thanks, Liz S. Cleopatra, Billy Hill. Yes, Bloomberg has a headline, jet fuel prices surge as Iran war disrupts Middle East exports. They say jet fuel prices are soaring. All right, I think it's time. You got to take breaks sometime, guys. Oh, hey, look what happened! I didn't even notice. That my clock. This is. I know how it's getting. I know it's getting late when I didn't even notice that the names of the cities had gone off the end of the clock. Well, what can I say? I think it's time. I think it's getting there. I can come back on if there's some huge developments. We can always come back on the air. But I think it's about time we start to wrap up this live stream. I do apologize that we had some technical issues before. So we had to restart. But I think it is time. But I'll keep an eye on things. So I really appreciate you joining. And again, I'll keep an eye on things. We'll have more coverage. If I get off the air and something happens soon after that's huge, we can come back on the air and do another stream. So subscribe, follow the channel, Agenda Free TV. I would suggest turn on our notifications so you know when we're going live. I can't tell you in advance, but we have free notification system. It works awesome. You sign up one time for free, and you get sent notifications whenever we go live. The mods will post a link in the chat to sign up for that. You can also find that link in the description of this video on YouTube and Facebook. But sign up for the free notifications. Also, I will post on X @Lookner, my X account. You can follow me there. For news updates, @Lookner. But I really appreciate people tuning in and asking questions and sending comments and sending updates. We got to read a bunch of comments today. There is a boat out there. That's true. And we'll have more coverage for you. Hey, also huge shout out to our moderators who are incredible. Guys, our moderators. We could not have our chats without our moderators. They are fantastic. Let's shout them out. They're the ones keeping things respectful and civil and under control in the chat. Oops, what I have to do is pull it up here. Ruth and Leslie Ladyhawk moderating. Thank you. On YouTube, and all of our other YouTube moderators who have been there. Thank you so much. Paul Anderson, Ava Knight, Kayla Ribati, Margaret Riley, Shannon Davis Hughes on Facebook. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Linda Belk, Larry, Misha. On X, on Twitch, our mods there. Bastion Girl, I got that fire. Matthew Kohai 3, Sarah and Shirley Dev. All of our mods, thank you so much. I think I got behind thanking people on Twitch. Oh no. I owe some thanks to people on Twitch. Sorry, Twitch folks. I got behind on thanking you. I'll do that in a second. But thank you to our mods. Twitch, Permajazz for subscribing. Rage Quit Writer for gifting a sub. Enlightening Fart for subscribing. Valerie Zakari for subscribing. I got behind. I'm sorry. Moonshadow for subscribing. Moonshadow X. Great Peer for subscribing on Twitch. Thank you. Sorry, Twitch. I just got behind on thanking you folks. Rambo TW and Needle Nose. Thank you. Thanks to everybody who donated. That is so nice of you guys. That is how this channel can exist and buy news footage and all that stuff. So you're very generous. Thank you so much for all your support. Hopefully I thanked everybody. I'm going to make a double check. If you ever want to donate, you can go to agendafree.tv. But again, huge thanks. Thanks again, Joe Seals. Everybody else. Let's see. Did I thank everybody over there on YouTube? User Kate Texas, thank you. Enigmatic MF, did I think? Billy Hill, I think I got everybody. Yes, Kristen Gates. Kristen McConnell Gates, thank you. I owed you a thank you from before. Kristen McConnell Gates, thank you. Sorry for the delay in thanking you. Also, Jennifer Johnson. Thank you. Also, hey, another good way to find out when we're going live, if you're on X, follow us on X at Agenda Free TV. At Agenda Free TV. I always post there when we're going live. I give you a heads up in advance. Post updates about the channel there at Agenda Free TV. We do have a Discord chat. You can chat with other viewers when we're not on the air. Our Discord chat on Agenda Free TV. It's free. A bunch of our viewers like doing that. Check it out. It's the same link as the free notifications link. Check out our Discord chat. And big thanks to our Discord mods for helping out in the chat on Discord. And also, hey, one of our viewers is watching from India. Thanks for watching from India. Omkar Kalmath. Thank you. What else that I was going to say? Oh, for those watching on YouTube, I would suggest Make sure you're turning the YouTube notifications on. Another good way to find out when we're live. If you want to do that. If you want to do that, you can do this. You got to subscribe to the channel, then click the bell and choose all notifications. Subscribe, click the bell, choose all notifications. If you're already subscribed, click the bell and choose all notifications. Hey, big thanks also to our Facebook subscribers who support the channel, like Michael Clayton and Robert Rial II, Margaret Riley, Kay Lowry Body, Erin Van S., Louisa Knight, all of our other subscribers over there, big thanks. Our Twitch subscribers, I should have shouted you out more early. That's my fault, Twitch subscribers, my bad. Strong One, Krug Z, I'll have to do it earlier next time. Strong One, Krug Z, Emilian, Wall Street, Shaggy, Jack's Animals. Excuse me. Reefer AU. Re4AU. X Kyle N. Permajazz. Thanks for subscribing. Atomic Farting. Arvindor 12. X Kyle N. I think I said that already. And all of our other Twitch subscribers, thank you. For supporting. And our YouTube members, who I need to thank earlier next time as well. Ruth's one of our moderators. My brain is not working. Texas Woman. Sarah Nova. Oh, alerts? What alerts are there? Oh, these are drone alerts. And one rocket alert. The rocket alerts like this usually disappear pretty quickly. This is not missile alerts, I don't believe. Drone alert. The rocket alert's not there anymore. Drone alert in the north. Mammy Washington, thanks for being a member. Liz Cleopatra, as we look at these drone alerts. Eric Johnson, Sarah Nova. That guy from that thing. Cirrus Story, Ben Van, Eric Johnson, Ineffable. Hassel DeHoff, Waltham, Mass, Zesty Zomp, Danielle Klingenberg, Beat Monster. Thanks for being members. Zinkman, Michael Avery, CAC813, Lola PQ. Matt Com, our new member. Thank you. Step 1. Our other viewers as well. I appreciate it. Zejko. Sambino says, I'm cool with nothing happening. Brad Vincent, thanks for being here. Our viewer from India, Bao Rajkar. Diana Martinez, Venezuela. All of our other viewers around the world. Oops. Thanks, Beza24 for watching. Mr. K. Kona. All right, guys. Hey, Barry Eisler, thanks for being a subscriber. Matt Kinney, Yaku Burrow, thanks for watching. Rosemary Gunning Silvestra, Joanne Gradwell, Joe DeRoos. All right, so what can I say? I never know when things are going to happen. So I will keep an eye out on everything. We can always come back if there's major news. If not, we'll have more coverage, I'm guessing, later today. That would be the anticipated schedule. I'm looking around. It is interesting that in the last day or two, I don't recall Iran hitting hitting prominent targets with their drones, which is interesting. Because a couple days ago that was happening a lot, but we'll have to see what happens. All right, guys, that's it. I'm getting off the air right now. We'll keep an eye on things. Also, there could be other news. There could be other news that happens with something else. But for now, that's it for now. I really appreciate you watching. We'll have more coverage. That's it for now. We'll see you soon with more live breaking news coverage right here at Agenda Free TV.